Hello and welcome to Dungeon Master Diaries with myself, Oliver, the best DM ever. Your chance to get behind the new revised 5th ed DM screen and find out what's going on in my head. For those of you who are wondering, it's a jack-o'-lantern filled with candy floss. Anyway, thank you for coming along on this episode of Dungeon Master Diaries, where I kind of talk about stuff that's happened in games and give you a couple of tips that I've picked up along the way of being a Dungeon Master. Game Master or Gamekeeper, whichever you prefer. Sometimes I just have players call me the Holy One. But it's fun to have you here. So the first thing I want to talk about in this little vlogcast is something that I screwed up pretty badly whilst improvising in the very first episode of Black Winter Nights for 2018. Now, the story arc is brand new, and both parties have been transported into the midst of a new continent I created called Sinjera, in the world Elisia. Essentially, this new story arc is a chance for the players to really go wherever they want. From myself, there will be no railroading of any kind. I won't be saying, you have to go here and do this. Instead, I've created quite an elaborate world, continent, where the players are free to do what they want, as there are quests everywhere. Doesn't matter where they go, I've got lists of quests within each region. But in Black Winter Nights, when I was describing the process that took them to Sinjera, I improvised about 3 lines. And those 3 lines completely screwed up the entire point of the new story arc. Essentially, I told them they had to go somewhere, just by mistake, just by improving. Not only that, I told them they had to go somewhere that I hadn't even thought of. All it was a name. I had all this stuff like planned and beautifully crafted and set and sorted. And then for some reason, when they're talking to Melandria, I'm like, you must go to the Warlands and bring peace. And then I'm thinking to myself, but there's nothing in the Warlands. It's just a name called the Warlands somewhere in the west. And the party was like, okay, we have to get there. That's what she told us to do. Let's get an airship, let's get there. And I was like, oh my god. Not only have I betrayed my vision for the new story arc of having it completely sandboxed and having them go wherever they want, I've railroaded them in the first episode and railroaded them to a place where I have no idea what's going on. Now, the lucky thing was, they couldn't get there right away. In fact, I'm still in the process of trying to get there. Their current plan is to head to Dulcivern and steal an airship off one of the High Lords. Great plan, by the way, guys. I'd also like to point out, none of you know how to fly an airship, but we'll come to that when it happens. So, yeah, that really screwed me over. Luckily, it didn't happen that session, which meant I had a week to plan before the next session. And that's exactly what I did. I went, okay, well, if they want to go to the Warlands, and I've said they kind of should now, I have to plan it. So I spent, a week, actually 2 weeks, because someone was sick the next week, so they couldn't make it. And I really fleshed out the Warlands. So now it's fine. Now they can go there, and I know what's happening there, and, it's fine. But for one moment, just 3 lines of improvised dialogue, I completely screwed up the whole thing. So my advice is, if you do accidentally say something, you've got 2 options. 1, keep bluffing and pretend it was totally part of your plan, and then just buy some time to fix it. Or 2, say to your players, actually guys, I screwed up. This thing didn't happen, this NPC wasn't there, you didn't find this didn't happen, I'm terribly sorry, it's my mistake as a DM. Rectify the situation. It's harder to do that when you live stream and you have people watching online, as we do, because it's like, I don't want to appear like I've made a mistake, but then that's why I do Dungeon Master Diaries, so you can see all the mistakes I actually do make. And they are very frequent. Oh, I bumped the camera. Very frequent, but yeah, essentially buy time to rectify or admit your mistake and change on. The next thing I want to talk about, you will have experienced this if you're a DM, because it's kind of universal. Sometimes you create a moment or an encounter that's supposed to be very, very serious, very somber or painful or sorrowful, or there's supposed to be a poignant emotional moment woven into the story. But the players have decided that this is going to be a time for them to joke and mess around. Now, that's inevitable. Players are often going to make light of situations that you didn't expect them to. And there is a balance of letting your players have fun in a scene, in a story, and letting them know when actually this is a moment to be serious. And you can do that in simple ways. Most people, when confronted with the realization that they're joking at the wrong time, will change their emotion and kind of fit to the scene. So you can do that through simple actions of NPCs. if one of the members is at a funeral in-game and they turn to a party member and make a joke. You can have another NPC turn and give them a stern look. Sometimes that's all they need to go, right, okay, this is not a moment for us to joke. This is a serious part of the plot line. This is a serious event, and they'll kind of go into it. But there is a balance, because players want to have fun in certain scenarios as well. And as you know, you can never plan an encounter and have it go exactly as you planned, because that's just not D&D. If you want to do that, write a novel. But you could do it. Why not? It's fun. I got like 3 chapters through mine, and then said no, it's actually a short story, and just wrote an ending. Anyway, it was about aliens. But yeah, so there's a balance of the serious moments and the fun moments. And you kind of want to get a gauge of how your players are feeling at the beginning of a session, or maybe in the first like half hour. And then if you're kind of improving a decent amount of that session, yeah, throw in some fun stuff for them if they're feeling fun, or throw in something poignant and powerful if that's the kind of mood. But yeah, let the players have fun when they want to, but let them know. If you're like, no, this is a serious moment, I'm not going to have you, playing It's Raining Men at this guy's funeral. I don't know why that's the first song that popped into my head. It's raining men. Anyway, the other thing I want to talk about, I got quite a few. Birthdays. Now, I had this idea, and you kind of have to clear it with your players, but of having the players' real-life birthdays, whenever that is, if there's a session that day, have it also be their birthday in-game. That way, not only can you say, hey, you're my friend, we love you, here's some presents for your birthday, but also maybe in-game have a birthday celebration for their character. Now, this is not for everyone. It's just an idea, and, it doesn't always work, because you don't want to be just giving the players stuff in-game, but it could be fun to have some kind of reference to their birthday in the game. Even if it's just a small celebration that is just a dialogue that you give as a monologue, as whatever, as a DM. I just think that's a fun idea, kind of celebrating a birthday in-game and out-of-game. Of course, you don't have to. It's just throwing things out there. This is like me fluttering butterflies of ideas in the vast gardens of my mind where the sun beams in a solitary strike, golden radiant light. In Japan they call it hitamari. Anyway, I'm way off track today. I'm so tired. This is only my second coffee of the day. Oh, I'd just love to say, my girlfriend Julia, thank you so much for the mug. God, she gets me. Look at this. Okay, so it's best DM ever. Totally, yep, no, you got it. Absolutely, you nailed it, yep. And then, for Oliver's use only, thank you, yes, cool. And then on the other side, the D&D logo. I lost my shit when I saw she bought me this. You're great, Julia. Thank you so much. Okay, we're still going. Real world items. Okay, this is another thing I want to talk about. My notes are down there for those of you who can't tell. Also, really good manga. Check it out. I just started reading it. It's amazing. It's brilliant. Check it out. It's wicked. Read it. Anyway, manga and anime nerd. So, real world items. Now this is just one of my favourite things to do as a DM. Obviously players like to loot, and they like to be rewarded after huge boss lines or quests that have ended after sessions and sessions of planning and fighting and screaming and scrying. But it's actually really, really cool if you say to them something like, as you're rummaging around in the knapsack of the fallen lord, as the soul escapes his skin, the sky darkens, and hidden in a small fold in the cloak, you pull out a solitary ring. It's so cool as a storytelling thing to be able to go, you pull out a solitary ring. Just to be able to hand to the players. Okay, now this really helps engage in the fantasy, because the item they just found, they're holding it in their hand. And it's this kind of like crossover of imagination and reality. For anyone that's wondering, that's the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. And then the Even Star necklace from Lord of the Rings. All my collectibles are like right there. Anyway, it's really quite cool to be able to just hand a player something like that. Now, I know, we're not all millionaires, and this stuff that I buy is from eBay. Free international shipping. It's like $2-3 a piece, New Zealand dollars. So that's totally doable. Also, like op shops, just like 50-cent $1 rings. They don't have to be solid gold. I just personally, and again, you don't have to do this. You don't even have to agree. But I just love it when you can hand a player something, or more so, if you can hand the player a box or a cloth and watch them unwrap it. It's that kind of in-world far out awesomeness of being rewarded and finding a powerful magical item, coupled with the fact that they actually get the fun of finding it themselves. And that's not too costly, really. You can do that on the cheap. You can also do it on the expensive side if you wanted to. Hey, it's up to you. But I just think it adds a really cool element to the game. So you'll notice that in pretty much every session, behind my DM screen, and again, sometimes I don't know what the items are. Sometimes I just find cool stones and rings and hide them behind my DM screen and then whip them out at a certain moment. Now, you can just go, you find it, it's full of arcane, you don't know what it does. That, again, buys you time to come up with what the hell it does while they try and find a mage to identify it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is quite important. It is finding what makes your style unique. So in Dungeons & Dragons, there are some classic tropes that we all like to use. The goblin war camps under the broken bridges that the party have to make their way across. The twist of a king who's actually Mario from Mario and Super Mario. But you can totally do that. Steal that idea if you wish. But one of the cool things is, and it's like this with any art, any writing style, any performance style, any stand-up comedy style, any way that you create your story. Whatever it may be, whatever the medium may be, there's always your unique style. Now, sometimes that's easier to find than others. Poetry, for example, is often very direct to your personality, when you start at least. And then you kind of go and you read and you get other books and you read haiku and you think, I should try that. And you kind of take ideas from other worlds. But you're always kind of improving and discovering yourself as you create and run through whatever art form you may be into. And art form is a broad term, by the way. I don't just mean pen to paper. I mean anything that expresses the unexpressible, I guess. So, but finding what makes yours unique. For me, I'm still trying to figure it out exactly, kind of thing. I mean, I know some stuff that I love doing. I love the sound of a table of players going, ah, or that's something that I love doing. In the last Eyes of Elisia, I managed to get the entire party to go, and ooh, just by saying his eyes flick to Ari and then back. And it was such a great moment for me. Those twists, I think, are one of my strengths. I do enjoy doing that. My personal style, however, I think it would be more the descriptions of alternate dimension, space-time stuff. Now that is because I'm very heavy into philosophy and astrophysics, so that's a huge part of who I am. And also because I read that manga that I showed you before, Dimension W. So essentially, I think that's probably my greatest strength. And that's my style. That's what I love. I love giving kind of like a mind trip to the players and to the people watching at home. I honestly find that very, very satisfying. And I guess that's what makes my game my game. But as you DM or as you play Dungeons & Dragons, you get to figure that out as you go along. You get to find what makes your game unique, what sets you apart from the other games, where your strengths lie, and what you love doing in the game. Anyway, that's myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, for this episode of Dungeon Master Diaries. I'm going to try and edit this as soon as I can. I have work, oh god, in like an hour. Actually, no, that's not fair. I love my job. I sell D&D stuff and board games and coffee at the same place, so I'm well happy there. In fact, pretty much all my core books I got staff discount on. Yee. So thank you guys so much for watching Dungeon Master Diaries. Remember, check out the rest of the content on D20 Multiverse, because there's a lot of it. We do several videos a week. We actually put a huge amount of our lives into this channel. I don't know how much you guys realize that we put into it. It's Review Critical Role every week, Dragon Tavern every week, reviewing cartoons, movies, all things D&D, and then I run two live streams a week on the channel, Black Winter Nights and Eyes of Elisia. They live stream, you can watch them on Twitch and YouTube. I DM them, it's two different groups, but they're set in the same continent. In fact, they're actually quite close together. They might even meet at some point. But there's tons on D20 Multiverse, so go check it out. That really helps us out. And if you like this video and you like listening to me, which I hope you do, best DM ever, please like and subscribe, because me and Dave, the co-runner of the channel, we love to see the numbers tick up. When I wake up in the morning, before I even get out of bed, I check it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Love to you. Enjoy your evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Oh, by the way, was this your card?